Sick, guys. Sick and tired of these scores not updating. Please update them on the app. Every Thursday we're getting this wrong at the moment, and it makes it really hard. And the updates are massive as well. There's heaps in this one. If you haven't seen, guys, check the NRL app as well if you can. For the player stats section for fantasy points, that's where they are updated, and it will show at the end of the round, which is annoying because we've got to wait like 6 days, 5 days now until the updates come in. So we'll go through this. It was a super close game, a really, really good game to watch. I think I put the curse on Panthers. I was like, at least I got my tip when players weren't doing that well and whatever, and they're up by 8 at the time, 18-10, and then bang bang. I think this was about with 5-6 minutes to go. I was like, at least I got my tip. Yeah, righto. Wow. It shows that what the Bunnies can do. Hey, they can go absolutely nuts in these types of games and get the job done. And a big congratulations to them. Their left side, Cody Walker just popping up at always the right time. Incredible work there. Okay, so updates were pretty wild. There were some big swings in this one, and a lot of them make sense. Some of them I was like, they weren't updated properly. There was a bunch of missed tackles from like Hosking and Cleary that came through, and definitely helped out. But then that dropped off some tackle breaks from guys like Isaiah Tass. I think Latrell dropped a couple as well. So there's a few things there. Isaiah Yeo, his numbers skyrocketed as well. Like his tackle numbers went from 39 to 45. His meters gain went up 28. I believe I don't know what else did they not count? That's a bit of it. He must have got given a turnover tackle, I think, as well. So that was that with that. But yeah, Latrell, down to 75 on that one. So he was incredible again. And if you decided to pick him up 3 weeks ago, amazing work. If you sold him 3 weeks ago, it hurts so much. It hurts so much. He was averaging sort of in that low 40s, and this is what happens with those top guns, guys. They do come back and they go nuts, really. So Latrell to make 111 meters and still score like this is just incredible. So well done, Latrell. And if you picked him up for sure. Crichton, he went down to 64, but he had a terrific game here, and he hasn't been scoring well all year. He has lost 134k, and this is very much an outlier game, but a massive one to him, and congratulations. Isaiah Yeo, as I said, up to 71, and he's just been freakish at the moment. He's averaging 66, it'll be now, for the season, and he's been, third best all year? I think Cleary goes up, so he'll be a 67.5, 68 type of player, but Yeo's in that top 5, clear as day. And has made a little bit of cash. He will go up again this week with a few big ones in a row. But yeah, Yeo, he's been a superstar. And if you did pick him up over the last few weeks or after their buy or something like that, you're absolutely cheering to the bank. So well done to Yeo owners. Isaiah Tass, bit of a sad one for him. He went down all the way to 46. So those tackle breaks, he lost 3 in that one. And he lost a few, what did he lose? Everything else is about the same. Offloads? Lost one offload as well, so there you go. Made it a little bit tough for him in that one, but he had a much better game. 46, 58, you would have been like, yes, he's back, and you're averaging 40 now across the season, but 46, definitely frustrating as losing those points, but still a good score overall, and he's one of those guys in that 500k mark that you could pick up for sure. And he won't with 46 now. He won't go up too much. So he'll stay around that point. But yeah, Bunnies just had such a tough draw, and they did go left in this game, and he picked up a try, which was really nice as well. Johnson, a much better game for him. 4 line breaks in this one. He did go down to 50 as well, so he lost a couple of tackle breaks, one tackle break there as well, which helps the guys on the other side of the park, that's for sure. But yeah, that's Johnson on that one. Not too relevant there. We then go to Cleary, who went up to 63, which was very fair. I swear he ended up with 2 tackle breaks. I swear he got more than that. He ended up with 110 meters. Kick meters was the same. I believe turnover tackle was the same there. He went down to a couple of missed tackles instead of the 5 there. Ended up with 3 missed tackles. So I think that was fair. They even gave him a missed tackle for the one at the end when he was about 5 meters away from him. He just dived just to, last ditch effort. He was like 2 meters away from him at least with his hand, and they gave that a missed tackle. So that's never been a missed tackle before, and thankfully that was updated. So 63 for him with no goal kicking. Like, let's say he kicks 2 to 3 of those, which it would have been in the end. Easily, there was 2 in front of the goalpost, so he would have ended up with about 67. So still a good captaincy option. He had a bit of a quad strain, it seemed like. A groin strain, a minor groin strain, which meant he still played, but those goal kicks and the dropouts where you have to kind of belt the ball, he didn't do that. But strangely enough, he was able to kick in general play really easily. So not sure what's going on there. Hopefully, Now with a good rest, he picked it up last game. With a good rest, he can come out and be back to his best next week, and be a clear captaincy option again against a slightly lesser team, because this Bunnies team is really strong. Damien Cook, for him to score 52 and have a try is very upsetting for owners. Only 33 run meters, but 4 missed tackles in that one, 41 made. Look, it doesn't look like the worst thing ever, but for Cookie, he doesn't really miss many tackles. He had -9 in this one, and he's usually a 45 to 50 type of tackler and runs the ball a lot more and picks up tackle breaks and offloads. Didn't happen. He got the try instead. But yeah, 52 for him. He's lost a lot of money, and I've been pretty upset with Murray this week. But Cook, even to score better than that with the try is very sad. In a close game, you'd expect him to tackle a lot. Cheekham, 48, hey? What a game for him. And this is just what he's been doing all year. When he gets 80 minutes on an edge, he's the player to pick. And you speak about him compared to Host, and people ask me about that. I said Cheekham's going to be that 40s type of scorer, but do you want to pick up someone for who has a bit of job security issues? Turns out it might be the other man with job security issues. Very sorry in advance for Jacob Host and his score. I mentioned him as a potential buy this week, and I know a lot of people did as well. Everyone was looking for some type of cash cow. I had my reservations on him, for sure. Just how is he going to go? He's kind of that marginal guy. I was thinking that 40 and the 47 were a little bit inflated when he's looking at an average of 35 to 40, depending on if he starts off the bench and gets 60 minutes or 65 minutes, or he's in the starting side. And turns out Cheekham was clearly the better option there with his 48. It ended up actually at 52, so even better on that one. So yeah, if you picked him up, awesome work. I wouldn't be looking to trade him in now. He's going to be up to 500k after that one. But yeah, let's go to Host there in this one. So 18 minutes there to kick it off. He had a few touch missed tackles on Taruva. He was just returning the ball back, and Hosty just popped an arm out when he was stepping him. Got a couple from that. Did end up with a penalty as well, so that was a bit of a shocker. And there was one where he was there was a 3-on-1 tackle, and he was trying to rake the ball. Once, he was in that, trying to grab that, and then ended up getting away from him. And that was how Cleary got one of his missed tackles as well, actually. But yeah, Hosty, 4 missed tackles and a penalty in the first 18 minutes, and he got hooked. Looked pretty gassed. It was a pretty back and forth affair. A lot of them in that first 20 minutes, at the end of that first 20, were absolutely cooked, but he got hooked and came on for the last sort of 9 minutes there. But yeah, not good overall at all for Host, and you just don't expect this. This is absolutely unexpected. If you're looking at Host and his numbers when he gets the start, he plays over 60 minutes for the most part. There's the odd game where he plays some lesser minutes there, but most of them he is playing massive minutes and getting that 35 to 40 points on average there. A bad game for him would be like a mid-20s to 29, something like that. And that would be very fair if he came out and just missed a bunch of tackles, didn't do so well, but in this one it was just an absolute shocker. So Hosty and his owners, obviously the lower break even is helpful, but it means he's likely a trade out next week or the next couple of weeks. Very, very upsetting if you are a Host person trading in Host. It definitely did not work out. Well, let's go with To'o while we're here as well. So 14 for him. He had 6 missed tackles, a error, and an inside 10 meters -1. So 173 meters was fine. 2 tackle breaks in this one, 8 tackles, but the 6 misses really hurt him. It wasn't a great game at all, and we speak about him as being a potential buy over the last few weeks, and he's been getting tries, and this week it just wasn't to be. And you just don't expect this from a guy like To'o with 14. So very upsetting. A few people do I trade out To'o this week to upgrade to Manu? And I was like, well, you just hold because Panthers are playing pretty solidly. To'o's doing his thing, and you just can't foresee this stuff. 14 really, you just make the objective stats call and a little bit of a gut feel, and that didn't work out at all. Isaac Tungo, 21, he got a line break and he still ended up with 21, so that was a bit of a shocker. Lindsay Smith, if you traded him out, in 16 as well. All right, let's set it back up. So we had spoke about Cheekham. Murray ended up with 47, so a little bit better, saved face a little bit, up closer to that 61 total average. I was blowing up a little bit last night, and one of my mates was like, bro, he's averaging 60. I was like, okay, I'm getting a bit greedy here. But with what we saw from Murray last year, he doesn't look the same. He comes in, goes to the line, he either runs it dead straight or just passes it. The amount of times where he is almost through the line and he's just launching it back like 8 meters and it goes to ground or it goes to a player, but they're going backwards 8 meters. He's literally in the line. If he dummies, most of the time he's literally one-on-one or he's on someone's left shoulder. Like there was a few times last night he was through the line almost when he was passing it. It's like, bro, you're strong enough. You've got the talent. You've got the footwork. Go through the line. Like he just doesn't dummy and go through anymore. Crazy. A couple of times early in the year, he did that and he made line breaks. It's just strange to me why that's happening. And to play 75 minutes and get 47 is very upsetting, to be honest with you. Like these are the games that last year he was getting 80s. So that's that. I think he's still probably going to be a hold. It looks like there's going to be other issues. Potentially great man Zach Hosking, who played some limited minutes. We'll have to monitor that over the next few weeks. But yeah, Muzz got to be a trade out eventually and round you up to round 13. Whether you do it beforehand, I'm not sure. Mitch Kenny ended up with 48, I believe. So that worked out for him. He was over 50 and then missed a bunch of tackles at the end. But for him to play 80 minutes in these type of games, it's always going to be a winner. So if you had him the last couple of weeks, 2 good scores after that mediocre 20s in those games before that. Let's talk about Jaime Sele. Big game for him. 43 points, 43 minutes. He was a driving force in that pack. Did start really, really well. Got early 30s in his first stint. Came back at the end and picked up the last bunch. And he was great. And this is such a fantasy relevant game. It's crazy. Jaime there, he's going to make some cash now. And if you've got him, you're very, very happy. Now, after last week was solid, he made a little bit of cash. This week, a big, big riser. And hopefully continues to hit your 40s and you'll make plenty of cash on him. So Sorensen got more minutes than Hosking on the edge. Strange. Maybe just with Hosking playing so many big 80-minute games of recent time, especially last week was a bit of a bashing kind of week. They gave him a bit of a rest and Salmon came on for Hosking instead of Sorensen. I'm not sure if that's going to continue going forward. I think we do need to wait until next week just to find out and see what happens. So that's where we're at there with the Sorensen kind of Hosking situation. I just think it's very tough to kind of work out at this point. Spencer Leniu, he had an absolute barnstorming run there, 41 for him in this time. He's made a bit of cash this year, and you'll go up again after that one. Jai Arrow definitely was not the beneficiary of Host going off early. So for those that brought in Arrow, he's always better in the middle. He literally started in the middle and then moved to the edge for the rest of the game. So not exactly what you wanted. No tackle breaks, no offloads in this one, which was a staple in his game last week. Obviously against a lesser side, that was always going to be more of a chance. But you would have hoped for sort of 50 points, 55, 60 minutes in the middle for Arrow. That wasn't to be, and he had -8. So no attacking stats at all. You take the 40, but it's very frustrating, him moving to that edge. And hopefully that doesn't happen next week for you and your squads. Hosking, so you went up to 43 there, I should say. Arrow, what did he end up actually? Arrow ended up at 47. Sorry for that. I should have updated you properly with that one. So that actually helps out a bit. And he played 72 minutes, not 80. Can't remember when he went off, actually. But yeah, there you go. So he ended up at 113 meters gain. He did have an offload and had 2 misses. So that's ideal for Arrow and no error. So they're really good with the stats before going overnight. Anyway, Hosking, 43 in this one. So they took away a couple of his missed tackles, thankfully. That was very helpful, and he ended up with 1 extra tackle and a couple extra meters gained. So that was good in that one. And 43, you'll take that for sure. For those that missed him, you didn't end up having an absolute shocker this week, not owning him. So we'll take that for sure. As I said, I spoke about him earlier, and that's that. Taruva, he ended up with 35, potential ankle injury, but NL Physio says those kind of weird ones where they just roll it in the turf themselves, most likely are okay if he's avoided any sort of syndesmosis stuff or anything like that. So if he misses, then we'll have a look at his replacement. But it looked like he was fine, and he actually had a really good game, good tackle breaks, and helped out his squad there. Then Ilias ended up a little bit at 36. We said Walker went up as well. Where was Walker? 42, ended up 44, so didn't speak about him. Campbell Graham with 28, so frustrating again. Those couple of guys, Graham and Edwards, having ridiculous weeks and then coming back down to earth the last 2 weeks for sure. So Graham had a couple of tries last week, 39. Try saver this week, no tries in this one, but 31. So very frustrating if you're an owner of Graham. And also Dylan Edwards, who thankfully went up from 29 to 35. He did get a try assist in this one and picked up some good run meters, 196, 4 tackle breaks there. The 3 missed tackles and just the 2 errors, so made a few of those negatives back. But it wasn't his game to have -13 or 11 with updates there. Definitely wasn't his game, and he will have dominant games. It will come. This is the wing fullback position, guys. It's not always sunshines and rainbows. It's not always 50 every week like Walshy's doing in the moment. Well, he's had a 40 in one of them, but just super consistent. It's very much an up and down position, same as the centers. So that's that there. And then David Wiley and Sonny Luke. Wiley end up with the 23. And got decent minutes, so you're happy with that, but not his dominant performance of last week if you brought him in. And then Sonny Luke ended up with 21, so that's that on that front. Tungo ended up with 25 as well. That was his update. So not great anyway. Sonny Luke 21, 33 minutes. You take that. He started really well, was about a point a minute there for a while, and then slowed it down in the rest of his time on the park, which is pretty normal for guys. The start of their stints, or the reason why they get a good PPM in short minutes, is because they're on for a short amount of time and can go absolutely nuts with their energy in doing that there. So he had the one penalty. It was okay across the board. He'll only make a tiny bit of cash. We need him to start getting 30s now if you own him. But that's the Thursday wrap, guys. I really hope those updates come in soon, but most likely they will definitely come, guys. It will just come at the end of the round again, which is 5 days away, which is frustrating. But just factor that in if you're making any looping decisions. If you hopefully you put Host in 5. I think I saw a few people did, but if you started with him, I'm very sorry for that. Not from my part. I had him as an option this week. I didn't bring him in myself, just for those worries. But you would not have expected that. So don't give yourself too much crap. Because that was just so unexpected, and you wouldn't 99 out of 100 times it doesn't happen. This time it did. Watch next week, he probably plays 65 minutes and gets a 40, and it's just the wrong timing for picking him up. We would have just wished that happened to him last week, and then you just don't pick him up and you went Crossland or something instead. So again, sorry to hear that a lot of people did bring him in, and I wish you all the luck heading into tonight's one game. Frustrating, and then 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, and 2 on Tuesday.